at Wembley. Ron Atkinson's Aston Villa have overcome their European heartbreak to hit their best form of the season. They're looking for a return to Wembley after 17 years. The Coca-Cola Cup semi-final first leg, First Division Tranmere Rovers against Aston Villa from the Premiership. Exclusive highlights coming up. Also a bonus for boxing fans. A special report on the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn, from his training camp in Tenerife. Just over a week away from defending his world title against Yorkshire's Henry Wharton. Welcome to Prenton Park for a match that could go a long way to deciding one of the teams in the Wembley final on March the 27th. The other semi-final is poised on a knife edge. Just that Ryan Giggs goal separating Manchester United and Sheffield Wednesday. A similar result here would put Villa in the driving seat for the return leg. Ron Atkinson's side have had to do it all away from home so far. They passed some tough challenges with flying colours.
Over the heads to Richardson, chance here! Richardson, the skipper, ready to slide it through to Atkinson. Dalian Atkinson, great goal by Dalian Atkinson!
Saunders, Atkinson, Saunders again. Atkinson right in there, Bottoms here for Arsenal as Villa go into the lead. Dalian Atkinson. Parker's going to take it. And a goal! Oh, Barrett!
If Villa's Coca-Cola form has sparkled away from home, then Tranmere's crucial results have all been achieved right here at Prenton Park.
Going for glory, Thomas alongside him, Aldrich at the far post, Aldrich gets it back in, a chance for Thomas, and Tranmere Rovers are in the semi-finals of the Coca-Cola Cup.
Terrific atmosphere here at Prenton Park. It's the biggest crowd of the season Tranmere have ever had. Hardly surprising, it's perhaps the biggest game ever here at Prenton Park. Let's check out on the team news now with your match commentators, the Luton manager David Fleet, but first, here's Alan Parry.
Well, it's not just the ferries which have crossed the Mersey in recent times. Tranmere's success has attracted thousands of Liverpool and Everton fans to a club which almost went out of business just 7 years ago. Manager Johnny King has done a magnificent job here, blending local lads with experienced professionals like John Aldridge, Pat Nevin and Liam O'Brien, all internationals. They've reached the divisional playoffs 3 times in the last 4 seasons with a brand of stylish football. Tonight, though, Tranmere are without 2 key players. Defenders Dave Higgins and Tony Thomas are both suspended. John McGreal and Sean Garnett take their places. When Tranmere paid £250,000 to bring John Aldridge back from Spain, it was a club record, but it was also the bargain of all time. He scored an incredible 80 goals in 120 games for Tranmere, and by the way, he's never finished on the losing side in a semi-final. Well, Villa, the first ever winners of the League Cup 32 years ago, have one of the best away records in the country, beaten just twice in 21 games. They've already won at Arsenal and Tottenham in this competition, and currently they're unbeaten in their last 7 games, including 3 successive wins. Steve Staunton has recovered from injury, and he comes in at left back for Stephen Froggatt. The referee is one of Britain's most experienced and popular officials, Mr. Roger Milford. Well, it's Tranmere's first ever appearance in the semi-final. Villa have been finalists 5 times and winners of the League Cup on 3 occasions. Tranmere Rovers all in white. And Daly first onto the attack for Aston Villa. Slid out of play by Ian Nolan, one of many Liverpool or Merseyside-born players, 6 of them in all, in fact, in this Tranmere lineup. In fact, even the internationals that I mentioned before the kick-off cost less than £1 million to bring here. Stark contrast to Aston Villa's lineup, which of course cost many, many millions to gather together. Nixon sees Saunders trying to charge down his kick. This is Malkin, the centre forward, who's got a lot of pace. Nevin, the trickery which brought him Scottish caps, is a vital factor in this Tranmere side. Richardson for Villa, though, and a good interception by the number 11, Sean Garnett. This is Nolan. Staunton's first tackle was a good, firm one. Just come back into the side following injury. Nolan looking for Malkin down the line. Staunton's clearance has gone straight to Nevin. Daly gets it clear, but it's only gone as far as Brannan. And he switches play intelligently to Nolan. Nevin again. Lovely play into the box, and Irons couldn't quite get the shot on target, and indeed in the end fouled Earl Barrett. The free kick goes against Tranmere. Well, David Pleat, you've played Tranmere Rovers home and away this season and lost both, so you're well placed to say just how good a side they are.
Well, they're certainly a good footballing side, but I think that John King's been a little bit unfortunate tonight to lose 2 defenders of the quality of Thomas and Higgins, and I really think it'll be an achievement by them if they can get to Villa level. Anything other than that will be a massive bonus, but there's a marvellous atmosphere at Prenton Park tonight, and it's something this club's deserved, the way they've made such steady progress over the years.
Atkinson's layoff. Staunton. Malkin has it back for Tranmere, but he's given it away again. Barrett. Staunton. Daly on the left. And the ball deflected towards... Oh, that was unlucky. As Houghton came in the inside left position, as it was deflected goalwards, he reacted quicker than anyone in the box.
Yeah, when we see Daly cross that ball, you see Houghton scrape across on the face of the Tranmere defence, and he hits it with his right foot, and that could have been a real shock for Tranmere right at the start. They're playing with 3 central defenders, Tranmere, and it looks as though the youngster John McGreal's got the responsibility of marking Dean Saunders. That's going to be a big onus on him.
Use of the hand there by Houghton, and the free kick quickly taken by Tranmere. O'Brien in possession for them. Malkin. Now Nevin. Aldridge and Irons ahead of him. And very nearly a great ball, and it drops to Nolan. Yes! Tranmere take the lead. It's dreamland. Prenton Park. Only 6 minutes gone, and the goal coming from the most unlikely source. Ian Nolan hasn't scored for 2 seasons. What a night to break his duck. David.
Well, it was a clever reverse pass by Nevin, but it hit Staunton. Staunton thought there was a defender coming. Nolan didn't hesitate. He normally plays on the left-hand side and tries to get forward from left back in an orthodox back four. Today, John King's turned him into a right back going forward, and he's turned up trumps right early on in the game.
Not a flicker of emotion on the coolest man in Prenton Park, but Nolan's goal has given Tranmere Rovers exactly the start they had dreamed of, but didn't dare hope for. Well, there's a 17,000 full house crowd here, and my word, are they making some noise now. And meanwhile, Saunders offside at the other end. Tranmere's free kick. Ron Atkinson stunned by that start. Well, it looked like a great ball played here by Nevin, but in fact it only turned out to be so effective because it deflected off Steve Staunton, and that just took the weight off it perfectly for Nolan to find the net. Foul on Dean Saunders, free kick to Aston Villa. McGreal, the player who's conceded it. But it's a good position, this free kick. McGrath has gone forward, watched by Hughes. Houghton runs over it, and Staunton hammers it in. Well, that was ambitious from that range, but it tested Eric Nixon. Steve Staunton having great faith in his own ability to find the target, despite the distance.
I think Eric Nixon was in line with it all the way, but the pace of the ball made him do the sensible thing and just steer it over the bar.
First corner of the game to Villa. In towards McGrath again, beaten to it this time by Garnett, and Villa apply the pressure, attacking the goal behind which their fans are gathered. Around 4,000 have made the journey from the Midlands. Richardson with the kick. Gone into the near post this time and touched away as Nixon thought about coming for it. Another corner, 3 in quick succession.
It's amazing how when the ball drops on the ground in that area, how it drops dead. There's been a lot of rain here today and it's really dead in that goal mouth. It might cause 1 or 2 tricks.
Another tricky one, and Nixon gets it away from virtually underneath the crossbar. 4 corners in succession now Villa have forced, and the keeper did really well then.
If there's any complacency in the Villa ranks, they'll be stirred now. The goal will really get them on their toes.
And Nixon's there again first, and then just touched away by Irons. And Nevin has played it straight back into the danger area for Tranmere. They certainly didn't want him to do that, but now they've got out of trouble. Brannan knocking it forward, and it's not a bad ball either. Barrett's pace got him out of danger.
Superb defending by old Barrett there. What a dangerous situation Tranmere had then.
Having conceded 4 corners in a row and really been under the cosh, Tranmere broke and could well have forced themselves into a goal-scoring position again. McGreal swings the free kick in a bit flat, but it's come out to O'Brien. McGreal again. Good play by Irons. That's not a bad effort either. Tough 23-year-old, born like so many of these players in Liverpool. And a good direction on the shot. Here's Daly for Villa. Again, Nolan first to it. And the goal scorer having a sound game at the moment against Daly. Houghton. Good interception by Hughes, the sweeper. Just about got himself out of trouble. Nevin. Irons. And Nevin points to where he wants it and gets it this time, and it's a good-looking cross. And that could well have produced the second goal. Of all the people you don't want to see coming in on the near post, it's John Aldridge. Corner.
That's Tranmere at their best. Nevin running on behind Staunton, crossing it from a difficult position, and who's coming across the face of the goal? The master craftsman, the master goal scorer, Aldridge.
Tranmere's first corner of the game. Dangerous towards Hughes on the near post. Nevin. He's beaten Atkinson and gets an excellent cross in. It's another corner.
He's starting to produce some magic, is Nevin.
Malkin on the near post there. Aldridge with both hands held high, a signal for a pre-arranged move as he spins away. Hughes gets the flick again, comes back to Hughes. It's 2-0.
Tranmere Rovers have doubled their lead. Mark Hughes, his first goal of the season. These defenders are timing things well.
Well, it was a quite incredibly well-judged ball in the end. Look at the movement from corners. That's what's disturbed Villa in the first place. The ball struck Richardson, it's come away, Hughes looks up, and it's the most delicate of volleys. And has Bosnich any chance? He has no chance.
McGrath's clearance drops to Townsend. We haven't seen a great deal of him yet. Atkinson now. Beautiful ball for Daly. Saunders in the penalty box if he gets the cross in early. He does, but he also got it in too deep. Goal kick.
They needed a quality cross. Townsend had made good forward progress. Atkinson had made good forward progress. And they wanted a good delivery. Here we see it. On his left foot, he makes half a yard. Clever little trick. But too far and too deep. And Tranmere can sigh with relief. So important, Tranmere keep this lead till half-time. Ron Atkinson will be working out at this moment in time the one or two little changes that he might be making in the second period.
The play getting congested in this middle third of the field at the moment. Richardson tries to get some width going, and Nolan used his hand then to get it away from Daly. And obviously Liam O'Brien has said something to the referee about that decision, because Mr. Milford has reached for the notebook and the yellow card.
I think in actual fact, Alan, he kicked the ball away just a shade, and Roger Milford's very strict on that, and that's possibly a two-point offence. Nothing too sinister, but of course it delays the taking of the kick, and in a way it also gives Villa the advantage of getting the big men up.
Staunton backs away and will try again. It's a good-looking one, and it breaks to Cox. But he did as well as he could have been expected to do in those circumstances. He's won a corner. Richardson. Cox with the cross. And Tranmere are under the cosh in the last couple of minutes of the first half here. But suddenly they break. Nevin. Daly always favoured to get there ahead of Aldridge. It took a horrible little bounce in front of Bosnich. And O'Brien suddenly wins it back for Tranmere. They've got three forward here. Malkin decides to lay it off to Nolan. O'Brien again. Nolan. Lovely ball. O'Brien. And then Nevin fouled by Andy Townsend. That'll do nicely for Tranmere. Takes the pressure off them and gives them a free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, clever play inspired by that right-hand triangle again. Nolan, O'Brien and Nevin.
Nevin's kick, and the linesman flagged immediately then. I'm not quite sure what he saw. However, it went in Villa's favour. Even as the ball was in flight, he saw an offence. Daly gets into space. McGrath. No problem at all for Tranmere. Well, Ron Atkinson will be itching for that half-time whistle to vent his fury, no doubt, at his players during the half-time interval. He didn't have to wait long. Tranmere Rovers have had a quite magnificent 45 minutes at Fenton Park. Ian Nolan scoring the first goal that put them into dreamland, but there was even better to come when Mark Hughes scored his first of the season. And Tranmere, although they've been under pressure an awful long time during periods of that first half, and they've conceded many, many corners, Villa haven't frankly looked like scoring. And at Fenton Park, at half-time, it's Tranmere Rovers 2, Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa get the second half underway then, trailing here by 2-0. A lot of football, of course, in this tie yet, but should Tranmere Rovers get to Wembley, it's by no means unique for them. Indeed, they had a spell when they reached Wembley in various competitions 5 times in the space of 3 years, 2 or 3 seasons ago, and tonight their biggest crowd of over 17,000, very much dreaming of the old Twin Towers again. Townsend. Atkinson. Townsend again. Now Staunton. Daly. And always favourites for Nixon to reach. A good early throw by the goalkeeper to the pacey Chris Malkin. Brannan. McGrath's clearance finds Daly, who miscontrols it, and O'Brien dispossesses him. Hughes, 9 years a stalwart here at Tranmere. Hughes, scorer of their second goal tonight. Cox looking for Saunders, and McGreal was certainly holding him then. Cox looking for Saunders inside the box. Daly's in behind him, and if Eric Nixon hadn't have been so big and so strong then, Aston Villa might have had a goal. It was a mistake by the Tranmere defender, but Nixon did really well.
It was good anticipation there by Daly. He sensed that the defender was in trouble. I don't think he's badly hurt at all.
Well, he's a huge keeper, Nixon, 6'4" and several stone as well, about 15 stone, I think, and he needed all his weight and height then.
Yeah, as a younger goalkeeper, he was rather erratic, but he's certainly matured here. Over 200 league matches. Here we see that one. It looks safe for Nolan. Nolan almost left it then for Nixon. Fortunately, he was out quick enough just to usher that ball away for the corner.
It's a murky, misty night here on Merseyside, but this full house crowd of Fenton Park is enjoying an excellent cup tie. Tranmere still leading 2-0. Another corner driven over. Nixon fisted at that one, and in the end it was Sean Garnett, yet another local lad, in fact more local than most, born just down the road at Wallasey. He's headed it behind for a corner. McGrath stays forward. Short to Atkinson. Now Richardson lifts it up, headed away by Hughes, and then Garnett again. McGrath still there for Villa.
I think Villa have set the pattern for the half. I think it's going to be some incessant pressure on that Tranmere goal. They mustn't sit too deep. It's so important that Nixon keeps pushing them out. If they defend in their box too long and too deep, they'll eventually concede.
Yes, it takes a great deal of concentration and effort to keep defending, and the Tranmere lads will realise that. They'll want to relieve the pressure on their defenders as frequently as they can. And they're edging their way up that touchline. Complete miss kick. He's presented the ball back to Houghton, but he couldn't do anything with it. Hughes' clearance. Daly gives it away to Aldridge. On Nolan. Charged down again by Daly. Atkinson. Saunders is in the box. He's the only Villa man who is. Staunton. And once again, the cross was disappointing. They've made life far too easy for Nixon. The long ball aimed at Saunders, easily picked up though by McGreal. It's a good ball from Nolan to Aldridge. They need him to keep it now. He couldn't do so. He's given away a throw-in. He wasn't too happy about the little nudge on him just before that.
Well, O'Brien got booked in the first half for a relatively innocuous kicking the ball away. Aldridge has just thrown the ball down. Staunton's just had a go at the linesman. And Mr. Milford's been quite sympathetic to both of those players.
Here's McGrath. Cox. Looking for Saunders in the box. And McGreal concedes another corner. It's taken in quickly. Staunton. Deflected away. Daly onto the rebound, and he placed that very deliberately, and Nixon did well to keep his eyes on it as it came low through the crowd of players.
Yeah, he tries to place it with a bit of power. He got well over the ball, but it was quite comfortable for Nixon.
Daly. McGrath. And now Cox. McGrath again. It's a good run by McGrath, and he's won a corner. That's excellent play. Atkinson marauding in the 6-yard box. McGrath forward near the penalty spot. Prodded forward by Townsend, and then McGreal gets it clear. Staunton straight back in, and there was a hint of an offside, but the referee said play on anyway. Irons. He's got inside Barrett. He's got Aldridge in the penalty box, and Nevin as well. Just delayed the cross too long, and that was enough for a splendid challenge by Cox, who's hurt himself in the process. And that's why Bosnich has kicked the ball out of play. If he hadn't made that challenge, then Kenny Irons would have had a clear run on goal.
Well, Kenny Irons does very well there. Tackle that came across him. He's probably just a slight twist of the ankle there.
Garnett. Played back in by Barrett. Then McGreal's clearance to Aldridge. He's given it away though to Richardson. Tries to find Daly down the left, but in that real boggy area of the pitch, it was never going to travel. Tranmere get the throw in as well.
O'Brien isn't able to get on the ball like he did in the early stages of the first half. He was the one pulling the strings. Now Villa are playing with a greater gusto, more passion, and Tranmere are unable to settle on the ball, and that lovely triangular play down the right-hand side in the first half has become nullified.
Yes, certainly Villa, in percentage terms, are having a great deal of possession here, but they still aren't forcing too many shots on target, and they couldn't then either. Staunton finds Daly. Nolan takes it off him. Saunders. Now Staunton again. Swings the cross in, headed away once more by Nolan to Nevin. At the moment, the game in a real pattern. Every time Tranmere get it clear, Villa get it back again, and that's a good ball towards Saunders. And I would have bet money on him being able to slide that one in on the far post, but somehow or other, Tranmere got it away for another corner.
Yeah, watch this closely. All credit to McGreal when Daly slides past so cleverly. Lovely ball in. Super ball. Nixon no chance. Didn't McGreal do well at that back post just to disturb Saunders? Saunders was thinking of a goal then. Good defensive play.
Yet another Villa corner. Driven in again. Garnett got it away, and then Nevin forward. And there was a handball then. Free kick to Tranmere. Richardson. Cox. Another throw for Villa. Yet again they make a sortie into the Tranmere half. But yet again, Tranmere win it back. O'Brien to Nevin. Hurrying and scurrying to try and get Tranmere forward. This is Irons. That's a great ball, and Aldridge is onside here. He's done it! That could be the most important goal John Aldridge has ever scored for Tranmere Rovers. It needed a rebound off the post, but who on Merseyside is complaining? John Aldridge just might have given Tranmere Rovers a passage to Wembley.
Well, there's a marvellous example to any young player. When that ball is delivered by Brannan, Irons, you see him look up, he looked to square it across, he decided he couldn't play a perfect ball. He slides it past Bosnich, and he follows his ball in, reacting as it came off the post. That's an incredible moment for John Aldridge.
There are 11 minutes to go. The claret and blue smoke bomb has landed behind the goal into which Aldridge has just scored Tranmere's third.
That was a tremendous effort by Daly and Atkinson, looking for a quick reply. It really was a good, fine shot, that. I have to say, Alan, just prior to Aldridge going on that clever run, here's Atkinson going forward, clever little sidestep, good drive, unlucky that.
Nevin with a good ball, Aldridge. And an excellent ball again by Nevin. Holkit, Irons. And Nevin's there again. He's really come to life in the last 10 minutes. Brannan. Nothing silly now from Tranmere Rovers. They've got to keep possession. Keep it if they can in the Villa half. No heroics. Play it safe. Only 2 minutes remaining. Linesman's flag for offside. Cox. Over the head of Atkinson. Difficult one for Nolan with Daly right behind him. He did the right thing. Barrett swings it into the box, and again Garnett beats Dalian Atkinson to the ball. Cox. Yet again, Atkinson comes off second best. As Cox plays it in, there's an offside, and there's a sigh of relief all around Prenton Park. We're into the last minute, and Tranmere Rovers have given Ron Atkinson one of the worst nights I would think he's had to endure for a very long time. He won the trophy, remember, with Sheffield Wednesday 3 years ago. He obviously has his hopes placed on success in the cup competitions this season, but his side have got the proverbial mountain to climb in the second leg now. One of Eiger-like proportions. Here's McGreal for Tranmere. Tries to release Aldridge, but Barrett is one of the quickest around. But all that matters for Tranmere is to keep the ball in this half. And Bosnich has got to get on with it. We are now, in fact, into stoppage time. And one of the most famous nights in Tranmere Rovers history has almost come to an end, and a glorious end at that. Cox. Villa must just get it forward. No pretty stuff now. They've just got to get it into the box. Townsend. And he's been fouled by Irons. Now they've got an opportunity to get it into the box and force something from the free kick.
Harsh decision, but we can talk and analyse the whys and the wherefores all night. But 3-0, what a decisive result in the first leg of a semi-final competition.
Richardson's kick, and headed across the face of goal, and Atkinson strikes it in, and that could be just as vital as Aldridge's goal for Tranmere. After all that time of concentration and defending, Tranmere finally concede one a minute into stoppage time. Daly's little flick header, and Atkinson rifled it in with his right foot for his 13th goal of the season and his 4th in this competition, to change the scoreline from 3-0 to 3-1. And how significant will that prove to be?
It was a terrific strike, wasn't it? I thought it was a harsh free kick.
It's all over, and it's ended in drama, and almost, strangely enough, psychologically, a little bit of disappointment for Tranmere. The difference between 3-0 and 3-1 in a two-legged competition where away goals can count double could be a big difference indeed. But let's take nothing away from Tranmere Rovers' magnificent performance here tonight. Dalian Atkinson has spoilt the party a little bit, but they have still given themselves a great chance of getting to Wembley. The final score at Prenton Park in this first leg of the Coca-Cola Cup semi-final. Tranmere Rovers 3, Aston Villa 1. Quite a night.
I thought the finishing was good. We played good football, and we had the right to be 3-0 in the lead, because we'd taken the game to them and created the chances, and the boys had put the ball in the back of the net. And then it was just a ball played there where Irons has gone for it. I didn't think it was a foul, but when the ball was clipped into the box, Malcolm was definitely pushed, and he's pushed in front of the ball, and then it's been knocked back by one of their players. I don't know whether it was Daly but it went straight to Atkinson, who volleyed it straight in the back of the net. So, but you get some pluses and you get some minuses, and that was a minus.
But was Aldridge onside or offside when he scored the third goal?
Well, we're in the dugout right on the halfway line, and it's when the ball's played, of course, and Aldo not offside.
What are your comments on that match then?
We didn't play well. We played well. Our best period was until they scored. What was it, 5 minutes or something like that? We started quite brightly. After that, we got disorganised. Didn't pass the ball, didn't play, they showed a lot greater desire, which I find strange considering the amount of experienced players we've got on the side. They showed a greater desire to win the game.
Why is that? I mean, surely your players didn't underestimate Tranmere?
Not in the least, they didn't. Not in the least. In fact, sometimes it works the other way, and sometimes they start to get afraid of it. Don't ask me why, because I honestly and truthfully can't really explain a performance like that.
It's amazing at the moment that the First Division, particularly in the FA Cup, are really causing some upsets against the Premier Division sides. Why do you think that is?
Well, we don't really think it's amazing. It's not a bad division. You know, there's a lot of teams that play a lot of good football. And particularly in one-off occasions, there's no reason why they can't go and play above themselves. It's a cup final every time you play against a team for a higher division in many ways. So that's probably the reason why it's happening.
Well, John, we look forward to the second leg now. And what can our viewers with the live coverage really expect from Tranmere?
Well, we won't be sitting back, you know, you can't do that against Aston Villa, because you're letting yourself have big problems. But, we'll go there and give it a good go, got a 2-goal cushion, and if we play as well as we did tonight, I'm sure we can come away with the right result.
So a terrific result for Tranmere, which makes Sunday week's second leg at Villa Park more than a little interesting. As for us, we're back on Wednesday at Hillsborough for Sheffield Wednesday versus Manchester United. Can United keep the impossible dream of a domestic treble alive, or will Wednesday return to Wembley for a final for the third time in 12 months? It's live and exclusive on ITV. That's the football.